The Legacy of Hope.
A great venture by Bonaventure.
Arise, Catholic faithful, rejoice and renew, rejoice and renew, arise, Catholic faithful. Here we are again in the period of Lent, the Church calling on us to pay attention to our spiritual life and growth and be reconciled before God. Our text for reflection is from Tobit chapter 1, verse 1 to 15. Tobit said, I, Tobit, walked in truth and righteousness before God, even when I was in exile. Our theme for reflection is the righteousness and devotedness of a servant. Righteousness and devotedness simply mean remaining steadfast in being right before God. When we are right with God, everything falls in place for the soul that trusts in God. Day by day, our world is becoming more permissive with the advancement in science and technology, cultural diffusion, and globalization. This has left the world with many alternatives apart from God and has filled the world with distractions. This again has made it very difficult for us to have a holistic, righteous life with God. But the book of Tobit leaves us an example of a man, Tobit, who was righteous before God in the face of these challenges. Tobit leaves us to explore what righteousness and devotedness mean for the modern Christian. The first thing we learn in the passage is that righteousness and steadfastness is tested in trials. Truth be told, dear people of God, once we journey through this life, we will encounter storms and trials. The fact that we are faithful to God and very prayerful does not mean that we are immune to trials and difficulties and episodes of struggle. We will definitely go through these things. Jesus Christ did not lie when he said in John 16:33 that in this world you would face persecution, but take courage, I have conquered the world. Tobit went through difficulties, he went through exile, but remained steadfast in God. Perhaps you are going through your exile too. Broken marriage, broken relationship, heartbreaks, suffered loss, battling with diseases. Perhaps you are in a huge financial mess. If you share in the exile of Tobit, then you should share in his steadfast faith too. Remain resilient, do not compromise on your Christian values, and have faith in God, for no condition is permanent. Trust in God, and it will end well with you. The second thing we learn in the book of Tobit about righteousness and devotedness is that a Christian should be comfortable in being alone in this world. Tobit was the only one in the tribe of Naphtali to be faithful before God. A Christian should be there to be different. Be comfortable in being the only righteous person in an unrighteous world. The social and political milieu of the time of Tobit and Noah is not different from our times. Day by day, our world is becoming very sinful, corrupt, and violent. Sin is taking over the world. We now live in a world where sin has become righteousness and righteousness has become sin. And many of us Christians are again tempted to compromise on our values. As Christians, we are born to be a sign of contradiction to the world. Luke chapter 2, verse 35. Be convinced about your personal faith in God. Perhaps you never know. You might be the light. You might be the example. You might be that shining star to cause the world to reconsider their sinful decision. The last thing we learn about righteousness and devotedness in the book of Tobit is that righteousness and devotedness should find expression in our charitable act in these to the poor and needy. Tobit would give 20% of his periodic savings to the poor and needy, the orphans and widows, and newly converted to Judaism in Jerusalem. He was faithful to this every year. And this underscores the meaning of righteousness and devotedness. True religion, according to James chapter 1, verse 27, is a religion that is pure and that reach out to the poor and needy. So whilst we go through Lent and are entertaining the hope to be righteous and steadfast before God, you may want to learn from the man Tobit and be steadfast in faith even in the face of adversity. Dare to be different and alone. Be the example that lead others to reconsider their sinful decision and extend a helping hand to the poor. For our spiritual exercise today, I encourage you in the month of February to reach out to a poor and needy and dedicate yourself once more to God. I wish you all the best in this Lent. Thank you.